Okay, and this trig identity we're going to, this is number 4, section 37, we're going to prove this is true. Okay, first of all, we're going to factor out what we can, and it looks like I can factor out a cosine squared x. Okay, and that will leave me with a 1 from this, and then that plus, and I'll have a cotangent squared x is equal to cotangent squared x. Right, now we can work from both sides, or we can work one side. Okay, and I personally like to work on both sides at the same time. Okay, I have a cosine squared x. Okay, now this one here, I'm going to rewrite everything in terms of sine and cosine. So cotangent squared is really cosine squared x over sine squared x. Okay, which is equal to cotangent squared x. Now there is a trig identity for 1 plus cotangent squared x, which I gave you. Okay, let's assume you don't know and you've forgotten that. So, but you should know cotangent squared, same thing as cosine squared or sine squared. Okay, and then I'm going to have cosine squared x. Okay, 1, I have to add these two fractions together, so my common denominator for that is really sine squared. So I'm going to write that as a sine squared x over sine squared x plus cosine squared x over sine squared x, and that's equal to, okay, might as well just write the right hand side as a cosine squared x over sine squared x, so we can make it easy on ourselves. Okay, so I have a cosine squared x, all that times, they have same denominators, so I can add them together. I would get sine squared x plus cosine squared x, all that over sine squared x. Okay, and that's equal to cosine squared x over sine squared x. But we have a trig identity for this. I told you have to remember that. That's the same thing as 1. Okay, that's the same thing as 1. So I have a cosine squared x times 1 over sine squared x. Okay, that's equal to cosine squared x over sine squared x. And you notice that's true. So when I multiply these two things together, I'm going to get, now this now turns into cosine squared x over sine squared x is equal to cosine squared x over sine squared x. And that's true. Okay? Let me do one more, and then okay, so let's do one more. Okay, and this is problem number 6, and that'll be the end of it. Okay, because it's a short assignment. Okay, so this is problem number 6. Okay, problem number 6, and it says I have a 1 minus tangent, I'm going to use x rather than theta, is equal to cosine of x minus sine of x, all that over cosine of x. I'm going to prove that. Prove that's true. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite the left hand side as 1 minus sine of x over cosine of x. That's equal to cosine of x minus sine of x, all that over cosine of x. Now I have to add these two fractions. My common denominator is cosine x, so I'm going to write this as a cosine x over cosine x minus sine x over cosine x. That's equal to cosine x minus sine x, all that over cosine x. Now since the denominators are the same, I can write this as a cosine x minus sine x, all that over cosine x, and that's the same thing as cosine x minus sine x over cosine x. So see, they're true. I'm done. So the rest of this stuff is pretty easy. There's problem number 8 where you just plug in the values and verify. Okay, that's also easy. Okay, so let me do one, maybe I should do one of those in problem 8. So let me do 8a. That way you won't have too many questions. This is 8a. They want me to show that back that up. They want me to show sine of 2a, the same thing as 2 sine of a times cosine of a when a is equal to 90 degrees. So I'll plug it in. So sine of 2 times 90 degrees is the same thing as 2 times sine of 90 degrees times cosine of 90 degrees. Well, sine of 180 degrees is the same thing as 2 times sine of 90 degrees times cosine of 90 degrees. Well, sine of 180 degrees is 0. Well, cosine of 90 degrees is 0. So 2 times sine 90 degrees, which is 1, times cosine 90 degrees, which is 0. That means 0 is equal to 0, so it works. So that's how you do number 8. Just plug in the values and verify. Okay? Right. That is it. So a short lesson. Okay.